Welcome to Building What Matters. This is Andrew Robles, president of Foundational Builders Corp. This show is about leadership, craftsmanship, and building more than just structures. It's about building legacy, people, and purpose. Every week, we're going to go beyond the blueprints and talk about what really does it take to build a good company. You got to have the right mindset, the right systems, and of course, the right execution. Going back to our company, we got started in 2020, founded during COVID. Go back and you look at our articles for 2020. I started working for my dad, Burrell Construction. Went and helped his company, started with sales, started with estimating, and as much as I liked working for family, it was important to understand like a lot of times it could just be difference of subcontractors, difference of beliefs. For example, he didn't want to bid anything under 20 units, and I believe we turned down an 8-unit project. And so little differences like that caused me to get my own contractor's license. 5 years later, Foundational Builders Corp is in 3 states, potentially 2 on the way, and we're continuing to build and we're continuing to get stronger. I believe that new laws just passed SB 79, which basically allows affordable housing and higher density bonuses along metroways. So that's going to, again, increase the building here in Los Angeles County. I know there's a lot of construction people out there that have been in construction for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and some of you still haven't gotten your contractor's license. I was in construction 2 years prior to getting my contractor's license. Was I prepared? Maybe, maybe not. But that's what being an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur is somebody that jumps off a plane and builds their parachute on the way down. And that's what we did. We're continuing to build and we're continuing to grow our company and our brand.
What does building what matters mean to you personally?
So, building what matters, right? Anybody could be building something, but if you are going to build something, make sure it matters, right? So, when you think about Elon Musk building Tesla, building SpaceX, those are companies driven by purpose. You know, the founder of Uber, purpose, right? There was a monopoly on taxis. Got to have purpose, building what matters.
When did you realize construction was your calling and not just a job?
Nobody wakes up and says, I'm going to work for a construction company. Most people think it doesn't have the most appeal. Some people think it's blue collar. But once you get involved, it's the perfect combination of white collar, blue collar, something new every day. There's going to be laughs. There's going to be fun. There's going to be war. But with that said, that's what makes construction so unique. It kind of, again, it pulls you in. When I hire people, I'm hiring for the right mindset. It's also a mind. You got to have thick skin. You got to be tough. You got to have a certain personality to make it in construction.
How do you balance being the CEO with being on job sites?
Now that we're 5 years in, I trust my superintendents. I trust my project managers. I also speak to them either in the evening or early in the morning, so I do have a pulse. I keep a tight pulse on the project. And when I wake up early in the morning, from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's when I could focus on optimization, innovation, creating things, whether it's content, whether it's lead generation, following up, submitting bids, emailing owners. I know that after 8 o'clock, that's when I call it the storm is coming. That means subs are calling me, supers calling me, inspectors are calling me, project managers are calling me. So I know that in a lot of people in construction, they call it the vortex. So the vortex, 95% of construction contractors get pulled into the vortex. That means that they're so focused on running the project that they do the opposite and they forget they have a company. So I've kind of modeled this in a way where, to me, new construction projects and new proposals make me happy because I already have confidence that once we win the project, that our team is going to execute in the field.
Drew, let's talk more about the projects. What is your favorite project that you had?
Favorite project? I've had a number of projects. Sometimes I like the ones that are high speed, the ones that move fast, the ones that have issues, the ones that have chaos. I like those ones because we get to create organized chaos. That was actually in one of my old signatures. There's nothing wrong with chaos as long as it's organized. That's construction. Villa Bel Air was like that. There was a project called Kingsley. These were projects that were actually where the general contractor was fired and we took them over. At the same time, there's projects that go smooth. Basically, pitch 7-8 innings, 7-8 shutout innings was the student housing project by UCLA that's getting ready to be finalized. I think we've already punched out 2 floors, siding's up, windows are installed. I mean, that project couldn't be any more perfect.
What was one of the mistakes you wanted to share with your audience?
So I think a mistake that I made early on was early year 1 and year 2, I didn't touch my projects as much. I wasn't involved. Construction's going to beat you up no matter what. You're going to get beat up. Developer, owner, billionaires have gotten beat up. So for me, it was not walking the job sites enough and having my hand on the pulse, because what you got to do at the end of the day is you have to have your team, your superintendent, your project manager. You are duplication of them. So when they're in the field, it's almost like you're being in the field. So that was one thing I would say I could have done more.
What is your rule when something goes wrong on a job site?
Number one rule when something goes wrong is don't panic. There's no point in panicking at all, because it doesn't allow for you to solve the issue. So it's better to take on the issue, think about it. I will solve the problem before you even panic about it. So don't even call me, because by the time you call me and want to rant about the problem, it's already been solved.
Drew, so part of the segment is lesson of the week. So what is the lesson of the week that you want to share with us?
Sure. Lesson of the week is the cost of waiting. The longer you wait, the slower you're going to be. Meaning that sometimes you sit on the fence making a decision. Should I do this? Should I do that? By that time, momentum's already died. In construction, whatever business it is that you're in, there's going to be issues. But one of the things that I've learned is that there's going to be a problem no matter what. You've already disclosed it to me. So why not solve it fast instead of solving it slow? Because the longer it takes for you to solve that problem, the more it's going to build up inside of you. So sometimes, and most of the time, when it comes to solving an issue, speed always wins. Speed will always win. Speed always wins over precision. I would rather you make a mistake and you make a mistake fast than make a mistake slow. So that's what this podcast is about. Real stories from the field, from our projects, and from the people that make it happen. Every Friday, we're going to share what we're learning, not just in construction, but in leadership and in business. If you're a developer, real estate agent, or someone that just loves seeing things come together, seeing things from building what matters, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Podcast. Let's keep on building. And of course, building what matters.